Nigeria is shaking, and this time, it's not from an election, not from a protest, not from the usual political drama. This is bigger. What we are witnessing right now is a full-blown international confrontation. A collision between Washington and Abuja. Between global superpower pressure and religious sovereignty. And standing right at the center of this storm is one of Nigeria's most controversial clerics, Ahmad Gumi. How did it get this intense? Let's rewind. In what many analysts are already calling one of the boldest diplomatic moves in recent years, the United States government, under the direction of Donald Trump, has reportedly launched a direct offensive against Nigeria's legal structure in the northern region. And this isn't some quiet diplomatic memo sent behind closed doors. This is loud, public, strategic. They demand immediate cancellation of Sharia law and anti-blasphemy laws operating across 12 northern Nigerian states. Not review. Not reform. Cancellation. And it doesn't stop there. According to reports presented by U.S. lawmakers, including Riley Moore and Chris Smith, a detailed investigative brief was formally handed over to the White House. The report claims that religious minorities, particularly Christians, are facing systemic persecution under the current Sharia framework. The argument from Washington is blunt: these laws, they say, are being weaponized. Used to silence dissent. Used to intimidate. Used in ways that allegedly encourage mob action without due process. And to make sure Nigeria understands the seriousness of this demand, the United States didn't just stop at words. They attached consequences. Heavy consequences. Security funding. On the line. Humanitarian aid. At risk. Visa access. Potentially revoked. Sanctions. Being prepared. That's not a suggestion. That's pressure. Now here's where the situation explodes. While many Nigerian leaders chose to tread carefully, issuing cautious statements, consulting behind the scenes, trying not to inflame tensions, one man stepped forward and went straight at the United States. Ahmad Gumi. In a fiery public response, Gumi didn't soften his tone. He didn't try to dilute his position. He defended Sharia law head-on. He declared that Muslims in northern Nigeria have the constitutional and religious right to live under laws derived from their faith, just as other nations protect their own religious traditions. Then he escalated it. He accused the United States of hypocrisy. He questioned what he described as a double standard in global politics. Why, he asked, is it acceptable for certain nations to preserve laws rooted in their religious heritage, yet unacceptable for Muslims in Nigeria to do the same? That statement alone changed the temperature of the entire conversation. Because by openly challenging U.S. policy and defending the exact laws Washington wants dismantled, Gumi effectively positioned himself in direct opposition to American foreign directives. And here's why that matters. The United States has already classified Nigeria in the past as a nation of particular concern regarding religious freedom issues. That designation carries weight. It opens the door to targeted penalties, restrictions, diplomatic consequences. Now imagine this: American lawmakers have reportedly recommended strict visa bans and international sanctions against individuals seen as promoting or enforcing religious laws they consider oppressive. Suddenly, Gumi's bold defense isn't just a religious statement. It becomes geopolitical. He moves from being a local cleric speaking to his followers, to potentially being viewed as a direct obstacle to U.S. foreign policy goals. And that's where things get dangerous. Because this isn't just about one cleric. It's about sovereignty versus influence. On one side, the United States argues that economic leverage is necessary to combat what it sees as systemic injustice. On the other side, leaders like Gumi argue that yielding to foreign pressure would mean surrendering religious identity and national autonomy. Now pause and think about where this leaves the Nigerian federal government. They are stuck in the middle. If they ignore Washington, the risks are serious: loss of funding, strained military cooperation, economic strain at a time when the country can least afford it. But if they move to abolish or significantly alter Sharia law under foreign pressure, that could ignite massive backlash across northern Nigeria. Religious tension, public protest, political instability. This is not a simple policy disagreement. This is a high-stakes chess match. Every move has consequences. And the tension is rising fast. For supporters of Gumi, this is about protecting faith and resisting foreign interference. For critics of Sharia law, this is about human rights and constitutional equality. For Washington, this is about international religious freedom policy. For Abuja, this is about survival, balancing diplomacy without triggering domestic unrest. The real question now is, who blinks first? Does Nigeria push back and risk sanctions? Does the U.S. escalate enforcement measures? Or does some form of compromise quietly emerge behind closed doors? Whatever happens next, one thing is clear: this confrontation has already redrawn political lines and intensified religious debate across the country. And it forces a question that cuts deep. Should any foreign power use financial leverage to reshape another nation's legal system? Or should religious and legal frameworks remain strictly internal matters of sovereignty? This isn't just politics. This is identity. This is power. This is influence on a global scale. And as this diplomatic storm continues to build, all eyes are on what happens next, because the next move could redefine Nigeria's international standing and its internal stability at the same time.